One of the tasks I was supposed to accomplish this week was to enlist someone to give a stewardship testimony this morning. And it's not that I failed to do that or forgot. It's that somewhere along about Wednesday, that nudge came to me that said, maybe I'm the person I'm looking for. Maybe I need to be the one to stand here today and speak these words. Some of you have been here long enough to know the first thing that I'm going to say, but many of you have not. The first thing I want you to know is that our family chose Wilshire before Wilshire chose us. Nearly 20 years ago, we came new to Dallas. I was in another job, and we had the choice of choosing a church in Dallas. We chose Wilshire. The second thing I want you to know is that we were tithers before my salary was dependent upon other people tithing. This is something that has been a part of who we are as a family all along. We've learned this biblical lesson, we believe it is true, and we've known God's blessing through this. We don't believe in tithing just because it's a way to get a paycheck here. It's something that we believed in before. The third thing I need to say, though, is that it's not always easy. There are times it has been very hard. And back in those first 5 years of attending Wilshire, there was a moment when I felt like I needed to resign as a deacon. There was a moment where the cost of living in North Dallas, of working for a nonprofit, having 2 kids in elementary school, it just all seemed to overwhelm. And I recall going to visit with George at this point. And George, I don't know if you recall this conversation, but I went to George and said, I think I need to resign as deacon because I don't think we can keep tithing. And George, in his usual way, said, let's not be so hasty about that. Give it time. Let it work out. And indeed, it did. That was good wisdom. I want you to know, fourth, that our pastoral staff are tithers. We do not ask you to do something that we are not willing to do ourselves. We believe so strongly in the mission of this church that we are givers ourselves. And we believe so strongly in the command of the Bible to be givers that we are givers ourselves. On Monday of this week, Ryan and I were making a hospital visit over at Zale Lipsey. We went to see Carol LaQuay. And it was a hot afternoon, and on our way back to the parking garage over at Parkland, I said to Ryan, well, let's do something different. Rather than cross Harry Hines and wait for the traffic light, let's walk across the Parkland Sky Bridge. If you've driven down Harry Hines since the new Parkland Hospital was built, you've seen that beautiful sky bridge. It's all glass, and it runs across from the old Parkland to the new Parkland. And I had never walked through there before. But I said to Ryan as we entered it, I was pointing out to him that on the glass all over that bridge and all over the front of Parkland, there's imagery that looks like trees and things. But what it really is names etched in there of people who gave to make the new hospital possible. And our own Melissa Atkinson was one of the people responsible for this beautiful project. When that fundraising was going on, Allison and I gave a very small amount to that. I think it was probably the smallest amount you could give to get your name on there. Not a giant gift. And I said to Ryan, you know, our name is in here somewhere on this. And there's probably 10,000 names in there. It's just huge numbers. And not 30 seconds later, as we were walking down that sky bridge, I looked to my left and I saw it. Mark Wingfield, Allison Wingfield, Luke Wingfield, Garrett Wingfield, right there, just like a message from heaven. And I was so stunned by that, we stopped and I took a photograph of it to share. And when I looked at the photo later, I noticed something that I hadn't noticed when we were standing there in the sky bridge. What I noticed was that when you look through the names, when I looked through my name, what I saw behind it was the city of Dallas. And it reminded me that even the smallest gift that we give helps us see beyond ourselves into something much greater than ourselves. Giving allows us to see the world in a new way. I encourage you to be all in support of Wilshire's unified budget, because when you do, you'll see yourself and the world in a new way.